my name is John Innes, and I'm going to be talking to you about how Defra delivered transformation change at Defra. So everybody's gone silent disco on me. Excellent. Just give everybody a chance to get their headsets on. Yep. Excellent. So today I'm going to share with you our journey from using a spreadsheet to procuring and operating an applicant tracking system. And we've been doing that over the past 4 years. I'm also going to highlight to you the benefits of using an ATS for an organisation like ours and how we've customised it to our needs. Finally, I'll show you some examples of the management information and reporting capabilities in place and how they help us to monitor and improve our recruitment performance. First of all though, hands up if anyone knows what Defra does. 3 of you, right, you can tell the rest. So Defra are responsible, so they're a collection of government agencies. We work closely with different partners, industries and communities across the country. But basically, we are there, we impact the air you breathe, the water you drink, and the food you eat. In addition to that, we deal with all of the waste produce, and we get that moved around the country or across the globe. So, massive variety of work that we do. The many different departments and agencies within the group handle recruitment in several ways, and they split recruitment of permanent vacancies and contingent labour. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you why we needed to change and how we approached it. We went from spreadsheets to automation. What we looked for in a recruitment technology partner and how we're now using management information to continually improve our performance. Right. So recruitment at Defra is handled in several ways. We've got permanent vacancies, fixed-term appointments, short-term appointments, and across government expression of interest vacancies, all dealt with in one method. And then we have contingent labour and contingent labour and expressions of interest that go core Defra or DG area only on a different route. So one department within the group is HR operations, and they provide the support for resourcing. And as part of HR operations, we have the likes of the contingent labour resourcing team. Now, I used to lead the contingent labour resourcing team, and when I first put that team together 6 years ago, I went to Government Recruitment Service, who look after all of the permanent vacancies, and I asked them if we could use their applicant tracking system, which was a system called Olio VX, if we could use that system to record contingent labour. And they said, no, it's for on payroll only, you can't. So, in true government fashion, I resorted to a spreadsheet. And we started putting a spreadsheet together. We had multiple tabs on the spreadsheet. We had a tab for the vacancy itself. We had a tab for any of the applicants. We had another tab that tied the two together when they were successful. We had another tab that had hiring managers on it. We had another tab that we built a dashboard on, and we tried to feed the whole thing. And then we built it even further and had macros. And the more we built it, the clunkier it became, the slower it became. And eventually, because of the macros, only one person at a time could update the spreadsheet. We were a busy recruitment team. So if you've got several recruiters who over the course of the day have done maybe 30 or 40 vacancies each, trying to then get time to update that sole spreadsheet was just a nightmare. So I went cap in hand to my bosses. I sought budget to be able to go out to the marketplace and purchase a proper applicant tracking system. proper tool for the job. I was given a budget. It wasn't as big as I'd hoped, but it was a budget. I was given certain parameters from the corporate security team, so all the data must be stored in the UK. At a push, Ireland. At a push, Europe. Definitely not America. Don't know what they had against the Americans, but no, that was the parameters I had to work with. So we had to then go out to the marketplace and look for an applicant tracking system. What I found on the spreadsheet was that we had no way to track certain information. So for example, the source of the applicants coming in, we didn't record that on the spreadsheet. We didn't record any EDI information or any socio-economic background information on the spreadsheet. We basically just had a name and a vacancy. There was no visibility of the vacancies or the candidates to the hiring managers. They were just a phone call from us, and that was it. When it came to reporting, because it was a spreadsheet, we could do certain bits of reporting. So we could do things like pivot tables and charts, but it wasn't great. And because of the parameters of only one person at a time being able to use the spreadsheet, trying to get time to get a report out was an absolute nightmare. So we needed that better solution, and based on the budget and the constraints that I was given, we then looked at the marketplace with the view that we would absolutely streamline the recruitment process for contingent labour across Defra. We wanted to enhance the employer brand, and we wanted to be able to attract and retain the best possible talent. All of these factors presented a better opportunity to overhaul the entire hiring process for efficient contingent recruitment. Some additional challenges we faced was that time to hire was problematic. We wanted to reduce time to hire as much as possible. We also had the fact that contractors were always subjected to contract extensions. So how do we go about recording the contract extension on our spreadsheet, etc. So a number of factors that we had to embed in what we were looking for out of an applicant tracking system. So again, another spreadsheet was produced, little decision matrix with all the points that we wanted to raise, and then we went out to the marketplace and looked for several applicant tracking system providers that could potentially be scored against the criteria that we had. So we looked for a number of attributes in a partner. We didn't just want a company that was going to sell us a product and say, right, you've got this product, excellent. Now, if you want to do any changes, come back to us and we'll charge you a small fortune to make the changes on your behalf. We didn't want that. We wanted a partnership approach. We wanted somebody that would be able to understand our needs, perhaps guide us if they had experience in certain matters with other customers, or suggest to us different routes that we could use, different ways we could use the software. We wanted somebody that we could trust. They had to be on G-Cloud's digital marketplace. They had to be able to be scalable for our future aspirations. And we wanted more than just that software partner. We wanted more than a software vendor. We wanted a trusted partner. So after a thorough process, we selected Eploy as our chosen applicant tracking system. It was a flexible solution. It met our requirements. It met our budget. And they were more than just a software vendor. They are a truly superb company to work with. So if you are in the market for an applicant tracking system provider and working with a partner is important to you, I can thoroughly recommend Eploy for that need. From day one, they understood our needs. They looked at what we'd done with our spreadsheet. They looked at how we could use Eploy to record what we wanted. They set in motion a 6-week plan to get us from the basics of what is it you need to having a working solution that we could then start training our staff on. It's a web-based platform that simplifies the recruitment process from start to finish. It allows for easy creation and publication of vacancies, communication with candidates and hiring managers, and screening and selection of candidates. It's more than just an applicant tracking system, it's a proper CRM system as well. So quite often I would find myself getting calls from Joe Bloggs from the Acme company, and I would very quickly, just using the CRM aspects of the system, record the conversation so that 3 months down the line, when they phone back, I can pull it up in front of me and I know exactly where the conversation had got to, and I can carry on that conversation. So you've got that aspect as well. As an applicant tracking system, it also supported conducting interviews and assessments. The assessments, we could create our own forms. So when, if you wanted like a situational judgment test, you could provide that to the candidates. If you had an application form you needed the candidates to fill in, it's there, you create it, and it's provided to the candidates. When it came to interviewing, we could create our own interviewing forms so that you can actually score the candidate on the system. The latest version, you can do that with a panel. So if you've got like a 3-person panel, you can go into that form, each one of them can score, it collates the scores and then presents, you know, percentages and scores for your needs. It assists us in making offers and onboarding the candidates. So the MI and reporting capabilities we now have provide us things like all of our EDI and socioeconomic background information, all of our time to hire, time to fill, time to approve type information, any ad hoc reports that people get in contact with us and say, I need by 4 o'clock a report on X, Y, and Z, we can very quickly collate that data, produce a report, and send it off to them. The system also uses dashboards and widgets, so you get a real-time view of what's going on. As an administrator, I can create the metrics, I can create the widgets, I can create the dashboards. So it's very customizable. I don't have to go back to Eploy to say, can you do this for me? Can you do that? It's the same with reports. Most of what we've done on Eploy, we've done ourselves. When we have had to get in contact with the Eploy success team who provide us support, they are more than happy to help us, and they will guide us through how they do things so that if it's something that we have the access and permissions to do ourselves, we'll know how to do it the next time round. But they're always on hand to help. They respond very quickly if you submit a ticket through the system to them. They come in with great ideas and suggestions. If you come up with something that isn't yet available on the tool, they add it to their backlog of things that would potentially come out in future releases. They have 2 major releases per year, and they notify you ahead of time what's coming out, how you can use it, etc., and whether you want to go with it, and then they'll arrange with you when your software is going to be updated and how to communicate it best to your audience. So it's got a powerful reporting engine. It allows for the creation of reports on any aspect of the recruitment process. Data can be analysed and visualised using charts, graphs, and tables, and actionable recommendations to address any gaps or issues in the recruitment process. Data and reports can be shared and exported using its secure and user-friendly interface. One thing that we have found is a lot of the hiring manager communities like to pull a report out of the hiring manager portal. So we've given them the ability to do that. What you can do is you can view it on screen, or if your boss has said to you, I want you to pull out a report from Eploy, and I want a pivot table, and I want a chart, etc., you can do that because there's a very simple export to Excel button on the reports, and you can pull it out, and off you go. So we've delivered significant benefits in terms of efficiency, quality, and compliance. Our time to hire has been reduced by 50%, quality of hire has increased by 40%, and compliance has improved by 100%. The compliance aspect of things, you've got all your GDPR consents, etc. there. So can we hold on to your data? It will pop up an automated email in front of a candidate or a hiring manager saying, you know, can we still hold on to your data? They can click yes, and it will automatically generate it for the next year. Or you can look at the whole consent part of the system, and you can say, right, these people have left, therefore I need to anonymize their data, and you can clean up your data on that basis. So additionally, the candidate experience, employer brand, and stakeholder satisfaction have been enhanced. In conclusion, we transformed our recruitment process and delivered significant benefits to the business. We've been supported by excellent customer service from Eploy and powerful reporting capabilities. As a result of that partnership, we won the 2023 OnRec Award for the best use of online recruitment in the public sector. Our success reinforces that decision to go with Eploy. We look forward to our future with Eploy. We've still got quite a bit of contract with them, and that concludes my presentation. So thank you for your attention, and I'm happy to take any questions that you might have. Yes. Sorry, I can't hear you at all. I'll come to you. Yeah, so the question is, do we use Eploy for the permanent recruitment or just for contingent labour? What we've got in Defra is kind of it's not a unique scenario. What we have is that we use Eploy. Let me wind back a bit. When I was in charge of the contingent labour resourcing team, we were part of the IT department. Because we were so successful and because Eploy was becoming so popular, the HR department decided to lift the entire team and bring us into HR. They then turned around to us and said, we've been picked up on an audit for automated approvals. We don't have automated approvals. We do our approvals by email, and we keep losing the approvals. We don't attach them to vacancies that go permanent vacancies, on payroll vacancies. Can we use Eploy to do the approvals? Well, the straightforward answer was, yes, you can, because I'm doing the approvals for contingent labour. We just extend it to permanent. So the scenario that we've got now is that all vacancies go through Eploy to get approval. Once they're approved, if they're contingent labour or expressions of interest for for core Defra or DG areas only, they remain on Eploy and are dealt with entirely on Eploy from start to finish. If they are on payroll vacancies, once they're approved, they then get keyed into the Olio VX system, and it's worked on the Olio VX system. Now, the ideal situation is when it's filled in the Olio VX system, the Eploy record gets updated with the successful candidate, and it closes down the Eploy record. Doesn't always happen. But because of the capabilities of Eploy, I run a widget on my admin dashboard that will pick up any inactive vacancies over a given period of time, and I can then close them down that way. So we can keep tabs on it. Okay. Yes. Oh, sorry, there's somebody with a mic coming through you.
What other systems did you trial before this one, and what was the key elements of Eploy that made you go with them?
We had several. You're going to make me think back 4 years as to which ones I chose. I think it might be a bit unfair to mention them, because some of them are actually here, so it would be a bit unfair. But if you've been around the stands, you'll know which ones we've looked at. The reason that we went with Eploy was because we liked the company, we liked what we saw. We went up to the Kidderminster office, we bombarded them with questions. Can we do this? Can we do that? Can we do the next thing? Nothing was too difficult for them. It was all positive. All follow-up calls with them was positive. They came in within our budget. They came in within the corporate security aspects of the data center being in the UK. All of the material that they'd provided us, the usual marketing material, etc., seemed to tick every box that we had. So in that decision matrix that we made, all of the search criteria was ticked with them. And that's why we went with them, and never looked back since. Yeah. Yes. Hang on.
There we go. Do they offer a name blind feature at all?
Did I?
Can you make CVs name blinds?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you can. So for all of our expressions of interest vacancies, they are name blind, which means that the hiring manager will see a candidate number, and only once they've sifted the candidate, if they've rejected the candidate, they still don't know who they've rejected, it's still a number. But if they've decided that that candidate has put in a decent application and it needs to move on to an interview, only when they move them forward to interview do they actually get to see the name. And it's automatically revealed to them. Yeah. Yes.
Just out of interest, how many vacancies do you have annually on both the permanent and contingent side, roughly?
Probably about 1,800 contingent vacancies a year and about 5.5 permanent vacancies per year. 5,500. Yeah.
And is that fairly stable, or will it scale up over time?
That's an average.
Fairly stable.
Yeah. I mean, being Defra, we have seasonal activities, so things like avian flu, that ramps up the recruitment for certain types of individuals that we need, vets in particular. Yeah. So we have to deal with areas like that, but that's only through the winter months. COVID-19 was another one that was a big recruiter for us. We had loads to do for COVID. So yeah, it's peaks and troughs.
Do you have an agency portal? Does Eploy have that facility?
Sorry?
An agency portal. So
agency portal, yes, we have. So with Eploy, pretty much out of the box, you've got a vendor portal for your agencies. So Defra uses Hays for their IT-based vacancies and public sector resourcing for their non-IT-based vacancies. They both use the vendor portal. They only get to see the vacancies that the contingent labour resourcing team send them. They can't see each other's. So from that portal, they can submit any candidate to that vacancy, and it then comes straight through to the hiring manager. Or you can have it go to your recruitment team first and then to the hiring manager. We chose to go straight to the hiring manager. And then once the hiring manager has done their sift, they can then go straight back to the supplier and say, these are the people that we want. They set up interview slots, and through the vendor portal, the agency can then say, right, Joe Bloggs is going to take the 10 o'clock interview, Mary Miggins is going to do the 12 o'clock interview, and so on. Yeah. Yes. Nope.
In terms of the candidate experience, have you surveyed any of the candidates that are hired, or to sort of test what the experience is like?
So we use the candidate portal for our internal expression of interest. Previously, internal people to see an expression of interest, they had to go on a SharePoint site. So they had to know the URL of the SharePoint site. They had to have access to the SharePoint sites if they hadn't already got it. And then they had to go in and out of different folders and look at different emails that contained that information. When we moved the EOIs onto Eploy on the candidate portal, all of a sudden, all we had to do was publish the URL. People can then register onto the candidate portal under their own right, and that's a great opportunity for us to grab EDI and SEB info, as well as data consent. Once they're registered on there, they can view any of the applications, any of the vacancies that have been posted on there, and you post onto that board just at the click of a button. It's, literally you have a start date and an end date and a tick box. You click on the tick box and it's there. Yeah. When it gets to the end date, 5 to midnight on that date, it comes off the portal automatically. You don't have to worry about it. And as part of that experience, once they're registered, they can apply for any vacancy. So they'll see the vacancy details. They can see more details if they wish. They'll have a map of where the vacancy is based, so they can actually set up their own job alerts if you want to say any vacancy within 30 miles of Bristol. They can see all of their applications. They can see any of the interview slots and choose the interview slots to go in. And when we went back to them and said, what do you prefer then, the SharePoint EOI or the Eploy candidate? It was outstanding, the amount of people that said the Eploy candidate portal is brilliant. We've got something like 2,500 people registered on the Eploy candidate portal. It's been that much of a success. Yeah. Okay. Right, so finally some takeaways in the last 3 minutes that I've got you. So if you're looking at delivering a similar change program, understand your limitations with your spreadsheets. Be clear what challenges your automation will address, and don't try and do it all at once. Define clear roles and responsibilities. Look for flexible MI and reporting capabilities, and you want as much flexibility as possible, because it's better if you can do it yourself rather than have somebody else do it for you. And then, what additional vendor support are you going to get after you go live? Do you have a system or account managers? Do you have any sort of customer service? Are there any enhancements coming down the line that you'll get? Is there any training involved? Understand the vendor product roadmap and how you can input to this. And that's pretty much everything that I can give you. So thanks for your attention, and if you have any further questions, I'll linger. You can grab me. Thank you very much.